Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Don't Forget to Tap. I'm Chris, and I'm going to be talking about some jujitsu experiences and documenting my experience through jujitsu from day one. So it finally happened. It's something that I imagine every single person that does any kind of contact sport deals with, especially jujitsu. But anything that you do, you run into the risk of injury, and so it finally happened. I got my what I would consider my first real injury, and it's inevitable, right? And I think that there's a lot to be learned from it. I learned a lot from it, and just trying to, fight through it and everything. You learn a lot about the do's and the don'ts, and some quick humble reminders and everything. So I'll kind of paint the scenario for you and let you know what I learned from it and what I guess I can adapt moving forward in it and everything. So I'm at class, and I want to point out first and foremost that I'm a big advocate that jujitsu is an incredibly safe environment, especially with awesome instructors. I have amazing instructors. It's just that anytime that you're doing a contact sport, you run into certain risk. And I'm in, I myself am one of the lowest ranking white belts. And, we're in a class of majority white belts. So we're all still learning. And so we were doing a technique, and it's from a half guard. And basically, we're moving really slow. Like, this is very, very slow. So this is just kind of the nature of it. And so we're doing a technique, and I'm down, and I have the individual on a half guard. And basically, what they're trying to do is they're going to press their shoulder into your neck, and they're going to put their weight on you to make you very uncomfortable. And then they're going to take because your legs are wrapped around one of their legs, and so they're going to escape this. They're going to like I said, push their shoulder into your neck. And then from there, they're going to put their body weight into you to make you very uncomfortable. And then uh, they're going to, and one of their hands is actually reaching behind your neck uh, to grab the cloth and pull. So it's kind of like a push pull method. So you're pushing with your body while you're pulling with your arms, and it gets very uncomfortable very quickly. And then they're using the top of their foot to find your knee and kind of peel away the knee. And then once they kind of take the knees that are pointing up, they're going to move them sideways. You're going to grab their leg and use your other shin to kind of leverage your leg out, take a big step, and then you can move into side control. And it's a really cool technique. I think it was awesome. Can't wait to get back out and try it again. But here's what happened in my situation. So I'm going and working with some of the bigger guys and everything, and which I have a lot of fun doing. Especially both of these guys are awesome. They're nothing but professionals, and just a lot of fun training with them. So what I think happened, and again, you replay things in your mind, is we were doing the technique. We're still going relatively slow. So I was down on the bottom, and I had the person in my half guard and everything, and I went to turn sideways with the individual, and I tried to shrimp my way out from the person being able to kind of putting up just a little bit of resistance. And as I did that, the person put their weight on me to make me uncomfortable, which is what they're supposed to do. And I decided to shrimp my way out, or try to move my hips out while they were doing that. And most of my body shrimped out. My rib cage did not. And so I felt two immediate pops on the right side of my rib cage. And it was like that. I don't really know how to explain it. I felt fire in my ribs immediately. and this like sensation that my ribs were trying to come out of my stomach, which that wasn't actually happening, but it just felt that way. And I literally couldn't do anything other than keep my spine completely straight without complete agony. And so I kind of took a second, and the coach came and checked on me and everything. And at first I gave him the impression that I was good to go, just minor thing. And so the coach was like, "Okay, we'll go roll with these guys. They're a little bit smaller." I was like, "Okay." Then he's like, he was like, excuse me, maybe sit this one out. He was like, "I've seen that before." He's like, "You heard a pop. If you continue, that's could potentially be like a 4 month out type thing. So just kind of observe, right?" And they got me an ice pack and everything and put it under my rash guard. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that was really hard for me, because I'm in class, I want to roll, I want to do everything, but I also, as I was kind of wanting to get away and get back out on the mat and everything, I had to quickly humble myself and remember that the coaches know best. And if they're telling me to sit out, they've seen this before. They have the expertise. They know what they're doing, and it's not my job to question that. And so I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna observe. I'm gonna motivate, and I'm gonna just be here for my teammates and be a good teammate up against the wall and everything. So I didn't get to do any sparring or anything, and so we get home. And I did help clean the mats. I'm a big advocate of that. The coach, after I did the dust mop, the coach was like, "Hey," he was like, "We got this and everything." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "It's just really hard for me to take a knee sometimes." And so I get home, and a friend of mine who also does jujitsu, I told him about it, and he was like, "Let me ask my significant other if what she thinks of that's because I guess she works in the medical field, and they recommended that I go get checked out because apparently there's some nasty stuff that can happen. Like if you, in the event that you splinter your ribs or anything like that, it can puncture internal organs." And I was like, "Well, I don't want that to happen." So decided to go get checked out. Ran over to one of the local. My intent was to go to urgent care, but I guess it was closed, so I had to go to the emergency room. And they did CAT scans, they did X-rays, and they gave me some shots. They gave me a shot in my leg. It was kind of funny. And quick side story. I'm sitting there, my wife drove me and everything, and because I'm in quite a bit of pain, I don't want to, I had a couple spaz attacks where it just is like unbearable pain for a little bit in my right side. And I'm in the hospital and everything, and I'm sitting on the bed. You get checked in and everything, and they were dealing with a lot themselves. And she tells me about the shot. It's an anti-inflammatory shot that should help with the pain a little bit. And I was, my wife goes, they're gonna have to give that to you probably in your ribs, right? I was like, no. I was like, I'm pretty sure they could probably give that to you in the arm. And so the nurse comes in finally with the shot, and she was like, "All right, where do you want it?" She's like, "Do you want it in the leg or in your bottom?" And I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, she was super casual about how she said that. I get it, medical professional, but it was just I was not expecting that. So my wife said my eyes went super wide. So I elected for the leg. Spoiler alert. And so that was a really helpful shot. And then I got some pain management medicine and everything. And what ended up happening, long story short, I won't walk you through every detail of the visit, but I got a couple scans done and everything. So the pop that I heard or that I felt was the muscle releasing from the rib cage and sliding, and so the ribs. I guess the most accurate definition would probably just to be say that I dislocated a couple ribs. Um, and there's not a lot they can do. They check for blood in the internal organs and stuff like that. No bleeding, no splintering, no fracturing, nothing's broken. It's just things that were attached aren't fully attached right now, and they need to become attached. So um, it was scary. I mean, it sucks. I hate being the guy that gets hurt and can't press on, but I also have to kind of take accountability a little bit, and I think this applies to anybody, especially if you're strong-willed and you're stubborn like I am. Um, it's okay to take a knee. The whole point of this podcast, again, is called "Don't Forget to Tap," and so outside of the mat, I have to tap a little bit and reset. And it's not losing, it's not quitting, it's not anything. It's not backing down from something you love. It just, I have to tap and reset and get ready for the next roll. And so time is something that I have to deal with on this one. Kind of pending. And coach said that I could come in and drill very, very slow. Some of the people that I drill with outside of Gracie Baja said that they would, run really slow with me in drill so I can still do some stuff, but not at the risk of hurting myself. But I'm a big advocate, and here I am preaching. And this is where I kind of had to take that accountability a little bit. I'm preaching at people to take knees, don't, take care of themselves, rest and everything. And I'm not doing that myself. And so I had to kind of take my own advice and be willing to sit out, take some time. And I wanted to go to class the next morning. I even told the coach that I was going to go to the 7 a class, the 7 a.m. class the next morning. And it really kind of bummed me out because I had this full plan of how often I was going to go. And this week had already kind of not really gone very well with that as far as like attendance and what I wanted to do. But that's life sometimes, is that you're not always going to get to do what you want to do when you want to do it or how you want to do it. And so I didn't get to make it to the next class. In full transparency, we didn't end up getting home from the emergency room until like 4 a.m. My poor wife had to work the next day. So that really sucked. And I felt even worse because I kind of got a pass to not go to work the next day. But, um, I still ended up doing some work from home stuff and everything. And so yeah, it was not pleasant. Getting hurt never is. But again, I want to stress the fact that I still fully believe jiu-jitsu is a very safe environment. This had nothing to do with the other student. This had nothing to do. It was just a freak thing. It's just part of anything you do with a contact sport. This is going to happen. I absolutely plan on being in class on Monday. I'm probably not going to be able to spar for a little bit, but I'm still going to go in and do technique, do drill, do what I can. I've got some compression, some ice, some lidocaine patches, some pain management medicine. And to be honest with you, I'm already starting to notice very small differences. If I'm good to go, I'll go into class. If I'm not, I'll take the time and I'll tap out just for a couple rolls and make sure that I move safely forward into training. So I guess the big message from that, because I am willing to bet just about anything that this isn't the last time I'm going to get hurt. It may be the first, and I've gotten minor injuries. Don't mistake me, like little things that are like gone the next day. But this one was pretty spicy. And honestly, just a little bit of humor. I'm really bad at painting pictures and everything, but so the worst part about having a rib injury, in my opinion, is trying to wake up in the morning and get out of bed because you can't raise yourself up because it hurts like no other. And uh, so I started kind of trying to get creative, and I can't like really pull or push with my right arm right now because it exerts force on the rib. So basically, what ends up happening is I use my legs to kind of turn myself sideways, and I found the edge of the bed and I pull myself to the edge of the bed, and then I kind of put my feet on the floor at that point. So my body's still on the bed, and then I start regretting everything because there's this weird push factor that happens when your legs are on the ground. And my bed sits kind of high up, and so my ribs feel like they're sticking out. And then I just kind of have to let myself fall to the ground. So it's overall just a really weird experience. It probably looks absolutely ridiculous, but that is how I'm able to get out of bed right now, and it's pretty comical. My poor wife is probably tired of me waking her up asking for like her to push on my back or something like that. So she's the real champion in this conversation. But I absolutely love it. I couldn't be more in love with what I'm doing. I am super motivated to go back. But injury happens, and sometimes you got to take your own advice. You know, it's easy to be in that position when things are going well to tell people to take a knee, don't forget to tap, and if you're injured, take time to heal. But then it's different when it's you and you don't want to quit and you don't want to stop and you don't want to tap, and it's a really dangerous slope to go down. And so you got to watch that, and that's something that I'm trying to be cognizant of and watch myself. And so I have to remind myself that it's okay to tap as well too. And no matter how long I keep going, no matter what injuries I sustain, I kind of have to take that same approach that it's okay to take time to heal. It's not okay to quit, but it is 100% okay to take the time to do what you need to do to heal and get back in the game safely. I'm super thankful that I had the students there I did. I'm super thankful I have the coach I do, because they were the ones that made those right decisions for me to stop training at that moment so that I could press and recover safely and make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to be able to keep training effectively, probably with minimum time lost. So, thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Just remember, if you get hurt, it's okay to take time. It's not quitting, it's just resetting. And so, with that being said, make sure you don't forget to tap. This is Chris, and I want to thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next time.